Hi, my name is Kayla.
And my name's Alicia.
And this is Read, Leer, Wiewinnig, a YVC Library podcast. Okay, cool. Today we will be covering 2 Edgar Allan Poe stories in honor of Halloween. The first one we will be covering is The Masque of Red Death, and then following The Masque of Red Death, we'll be talking about The Raven. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into The Masque of Red Death. I'm sure a lot of you know the story. It's one of his many famous short stories. But, a little rundown. Rich people partying during a plague, and then they get screwed on. So, yeah. Okay, let's go with number 1. Can you relate to Prince Prospero or to anyone in this story? Are there any genuine characters?
I feel like he is relatable only in the sense that most people don't really want to die or
That's true.
face death.
Or deal with it at all, period.
So, trying to escape it, I think, is kind of relatable, but the extravagance in which
and all the other rich people just partying and locking down the doors. I was like, okay, I get it. Rich people were like, oh, we're better than the poor. We'll just keep the sick out. Didn't work very well, now did it?
Mm-mm.
I can't really say I relate to Prince Prospero, not in like the traditional sense.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I were rich and there was a plague going on, I wouldn't invite a bunch of other people.
No, absolutely not.
I think I would just, kind of stay locked up in my little palace and, not start bleeding out of my orifices, if that was possible. As for genuine characters, I think the only thing really genuine is their fear.
Mm.
Because obviously they're all kind of like fakey. They care about their money and their presentation. But their genuine emotions are fear, and obviously they don't want to bleed out of everywhere.
Yeah, very true.
So yeah, aside from that, I don't really think they're very genuine.
No.
But then again, I have a bias against the richer folks. So, okay, do you think Prince Prospero is a tragic hero or a fool? What is his primary flaw, or does he have one?
I mean, I think he's a little bit of a fool.
Yeah, I think he's just a fool, period. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't think he would be a tragic hero in any sense of the word. There's nothing really heroic about throwing a party with a bunch of other rich people while the poor are dying outside your walls.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't think he's very heroic, but he is pretty dumb for literally crowding his palace with people when there's a plague going on. But maybe he just wanted to have one last go at it before he was reduced to a puddle of goo. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say his primary flaw is I don't think he thinks that he'll get sick. Like, he's stupid. I think that's his main flaw. He's like, oh, if I just lock everything up and then only have these people here, which is like a ton of people, then I'm good.
Yeah. I think it was, like, pride, too.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, I can't get sick.
Yeah.
I'm too powerful. I'm too healthy.
I can create a place where
exactly
no one can get the plague.
And everyone else can just suck it.
Mm-hmm.
What is the relationship between art and death in this story?
I think a wildly popular theory is that the 7 colored rooms represent the
7 rings, right?
That or the stages of life.
Oh, that is true.
Represents like a stage of life.
That is interesting. I could see that because obviously.
Because then when you get to the end, it's like.
Yeah, it's just death. It's just a room with a red window. I didn't actually think about that. When I think of like the art and the death and the story, I'm obviously thinking about all those, gloriously extravagant 7 colored rooms. Mm-hmm. And like you said, I think there is more meaning to them, like either, the 7 rings of hell or the stages of life. But I can't say for sure. I think it's probably because it's left to interpretation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do really like the way that he described the scenery in this story. I was like, ooh, everything sounds so lush and expensive.
I kind of like see it. Too,
yeah, like I was like, I want to roll in it. You know what I mean? Like, give me some of that. Do you think Prince Prospero is Poe? If this story is a dream, whose dream is it? I don't necessarily think there's a correlation between Poe and Prince Prospero.
I mean, they share a few similar
traits. Yeah.
Like the wild, extravagant imagination kind of. But other than that, I don't really think that they're supposed to represent each other.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure, wasn't this written like during the bubonic plague?
Yeah,
yeah, I think he was writing this as like a event about the bubonic plague. Mm-hmm. And I guess I could see maybe he was trying to place himself as this extravagant prince, but I know he didn't lead like an extravagant life.
Right.
Like he was an alcoholic towards the end of his life and he just kind of So I don't think he's necessarily the prince, but maybe he drew on some inspiration for from himself to write the character.
Yeah, I can see that.
As for, like, the story being a dream, if it was a dream, I guess it would have to be Poe's dream, right? Because he created the story.
Yeah.
So maybe he did dream this, and he wrote about it. I mean, I've heard some people have some really vivid dreams.
Oh, yeah.
So I could see it. I don't necessarily think it would be the prince's dream, though. Because, he kind of just drops dead like everyone else.
Right.
And there's no scene of him, waking up. Do you think fear is the intended effect in this story? Or do you think there's another one? It is kind of a hard question.
Yeah. I think it was intended, but personally, I don't get a sense of fear when I read it.
I think there was elements of fear, but I think the intended effect was just to kind of be like, hey, don't do this obviously stupid thing.
Right.
Don't invite a whole crowd of people into your palace while there's a plague. Don't be selfish. And don't just roll around in your money while innocent people are suffering.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be kind of the message he was going for it. But I don't know, like I said, it's hard to say. Do you think that this story is scary?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I don't really think it's scary either. It's a very interesting story. It's obviously a tale of death, and some of the scenes are kind of gross, them bleeding everywhere. But I don't really think it's scary. I think it's a cautionary tale.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, overall, I do like this story. And if I had to rate it out of 10, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 because it's one of my favorites. What do you think?
I think around there too. Maybe a little lower.
Yeah, a big part of me of liking the story is all the lush scenery. I'm like, ooh, it just makes my smooth brain go burr. All right, but yeah, love the Masque of Red Death, and it was nice to talk about.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, so I think we're ready to go on to The Raven, which is one of my favorite Poe stories of all time. Just kind of basic of me, but I mean, come on, it's The Raven.
Yeah.
So, how is madness or insanity explored in this poem?
Well, I think it obviously starts when the narrator imagines a raven.
Yeah, on his chamber door. 'Tis but a knock and nothing more. Yeah, it's hard to say how exactly it is explored because you can tell the main dude is crazy.
Right.
And ravens symbolize death in a lot of cultures.
Oh yeah.
So
true.
maybe this character was close to death and he was starting to see, quote unquote, an embodiment of death.
Right.
And that's what was driving him crazy.
Yeah.
But he also could have a guilty conscience about something because, Poe always be guilty.
Yeah. In the story too, it mentioned Lenore, right?
Yeah.
So it could have been his way of imaginative.
Dealing with his grief.
How he coped.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think Lenore was I can't remember if Lenore was a lover or a family member.
I think a lover.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I think that loss kind of triggered his brain going, I don't work anymore.
Yeah.
Do you think this poem is supposed to be funny? Do you find the speaker's tale intense and dramatic or ridiculous and over the top?
I don't think it was intended to be funny.
Yeah, I just feel like it was very dramatic.
Yeah. I did find some parts of it to be a little
humorous, when he's just yelling at the door.
But
he's like, be gone, foul beast! There's just this bird chilling, squawking.
Yeah.
I get it would be weird, but man, he was just like, get out of my lawn! But no, I do, some parts are pretty funny, but I think mainly it's just dramatic and intense.
Yeah.
Because this dude's losing his mind. He's seeing birds. They're on his door. He doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Get off his chamber door. I don't know. Do you talk to animals?
Yes.
Do you ever imagine them saying something back?
I talk to animals all the time. I think if they talk back to me, I'd be pretty frightened.
I think if my dog talked back to me, I'd probably pass out.
Yeah.
And then when I woke up, I'd be like, so this whole time, you could have been telling me things. This could have been, so much easier for us. It would be a little annoyed. But yeah, of course. Who doesn't talk to animals? Right. If animals could talk to us, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the world would be a better place. We'd all be in harmony.
Yeah.
And I want, a goat bestie. I would love that.
That would be so fun.
Plus, they're so cute.
Yes.
You know they do goat yoga?
Do they really?
Yeah, they do goat yoga. Anyways, that's irrelevant to the Raven. But yes, we talk to animals. We appreciate them.
We do.
On that note, do you think the speaker of this poem has really lost his mind, or does he just seem really sad?
For me personally, I think he's just really sad.
Yeah, I think he's really, like super depressed and it's making him lose his mind a little bit.
Yeah, because grief, if he really is grieving Lenora and it's coping, it can have a huge effect on you.
Oh, yeah. As someone who went through a loss recently, it is a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like I was losing my mind at some points. See, I think he's just lost in the blackness that is grief. It's a hard pit to pull yourself out of, you know?
I think so too.
And I mean, if I saw a bird the day after my loss that was like talking to me on my door, I think I would be like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? I'd probably go downhill just like he did.
Right, yeah.
Do you trust the speaker? Do you think he gives us an accurate version of reality? Or is it possible he's making it up or distorting some of the things he's talking about?
I mean, not really. Whether he is going crazy or just intensely sad.
Yeah.
I don't really think that he's...
Yeah, I don't think he's intentionally distorting anything. If he's lying, then he's not lying purposefully.
Right.
He's lying because he's crazy and he actually thinks he's saying what he's saying.
Yeah.
So I guess in some ways I trust him, but it's also... There is a lack of trust there because obviously Mans is going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Because in his mind, everything seems real.
Yeah, everything's real. This bird is like coming to drag him to the depths of hell. It's just... I get it. I would be losing it too, you know what I mean? Have you ever known someone or been someone whose love turned into obsession? Does this poem make you think about this experience?
Luckily, I don't think I have ever experienced that.
I mean, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I haven't known someone who was, like, obsessive and, like, hunted you down. I think, personally, myself, as a teenager, like a young teenager, I feel like a lot of the famous people I loved turned into obsession at some point.
Oh, okay, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, like, that's where I kind of relate, because it's not necessarily the same kind of obsession he's experiencing.
Right.
It's more like every teenage girl fawning over, like, boy bands and rock artists.
I've been there.
and you're like, oh my god, I would do anything for this person. But then as you, like, grow up, you're like, wow, this person kind of sucks. I was kind of obsessed over just a weirdo that can sing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I feel like I've dealt with obsession.
Yeah. I didn't think of it in that way, so that's interesting.
Yeah, that was the only way I could really link to it, because obviously I don't know someone in my adult life who's been, like, romantically obsessed with anyone. And I'm glad I don't, because that would be weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I read about it in books. Does that count?
Yeah, I have too, so...
So, yeah, I think that's about it for the obsession bit.
Yeah.
And that kind of wraps up our two little stories.
I like it.
So it's a little shorter episode. You know, it's been a while since we've been able to record. And we'll be back probably in a month or two. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed our discussion. Yeah. And we hope you return with us the next time we upload. And as always, remember, you have to register to vote. Stuff is coming out for local elections right now. So remember, register. Your vote matters. And it could really impact the state of the country. And I think we're good. Yeah. We'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.